Yo, this your brother Ghazi. Again, I guess I want to do part 2 to a video I did earlier. I've been getting a lot of good response from the video that I put out earlier today on relationships. And I just want to hit a few more points on that issue or that perspective to give us a more panoramic view so that we can look at that from a wider angle. Let me tell you, when you're in a relationship, again, whether it's a friendship, intimate relationship, co-workers, family members, whatever it may be, in that relationship, if one person is growing and evolving and the other person is not, that relationship is almost doomed for failure. Gaps gonna develop. A separation will take place, first mentally, emotionally, and then physically. Because as one person begins to grow and elevate, what happens is the person who refused to grow, they still want to connect with and relate to the person that's growing the same way they did yesterday. Well, I'm not the same person I was yesterday. So how you related to me yesterday, you can't relate to me like that today. The Bible says it like this: when I was a child, I spoke as a child, thought as a child, understood as a child. But when I became a man or woman, I put away childish ways. That's letting us know that there's 3 areas of our life that's indicative of growth. The way we speak, the way we think, and the way we understand. And then my speaking is changing. My thinking has changed. My understanding has changed today. Then if you try to relate to me the same way you did yesterday, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. We ain't going to really have nothing in common. We're going to be clashing all the time because you still trying to relate to Lil Red from the west side in St. Louis, and I've evolved all the way to Ghazi Hamza. You see? Now, you either progressing or you digressing in life. Ain't no standing still. If you think you standing still, the world is moving on. The world is progressing. Everybody around you progressing. Things are moving. So even if you standing still, then you lagging further behind. Because if you stay in that same point and everything else is moving on, and that's the same point you at, you look up, you're going to be so far behind everybody else. So ain't no standing still. You either making progress or you digressing. So if I was you, I'd be constantly trying to make progress. Now, it's a lot of brothers that's always complaining about how they women get on their nerves and all that. Well, guess what? That's what she's supposed to do. You know, most of the ones who say the woman get on their nerve, you know, she always nagging and all that. And I've heard some sisters say the same thing. The brother's getting on their nerve. Well, guess what? That's what he's supposed to do. When we say a person is getting on our nerve, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, what we're saying is that this person is bringing out of me, manifesting in me a lot of BS that existed. And it's irritating me. See, if somebody brings something out of you, the BS that exists within you, it was already there. They didn't put that in you. It was already there. In order for it to come out, it already existed. This person, this situation, this circumstance, it just manifested the BS, the problem, the defects, the flaws that already existed on the inside of you. That's how it's designed. It's designed to do just that. We run away from it. Well, let me tell you something. When you run away from a relationship, what you're running away from is valuable lessons that can help guide you to your divinity. Now, let me make this clear. I'm not talking about an abusive relationship. I'm not talking about if you physically abused, if you've been sexually abused, verbally abused. I'm not talking about that. Get out of that quick. That ain't even a relationship. That's straight dysfunctional. I'm talking about a relationship that is challenging you mentally. And you don't know how to solve the problem because you don't understand the mathematics of how to solve that problem. And you always point to the other person, blame it on them. It's their fault. And so when a problem come up, the first thing most of us do is we look at the other person and try to figure out everything that's wrong with them, rather than looking at ourselves and trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with us. See, it's a lesson in there right there. And if you fail to get that lesson right there, then shame on you. You're going to find yourself further behind. The one who get the lessons, that's the one who advanced the quickest. The one who get the lessons. It's just like school. You go to school the whole semester. The one who learn the lessons more, them the ones that pass them tests. The one who fail to get the lesson, when it come time for tests, Oh yeah, them the ones that's flunking. Them the ones that's failing. Them the ones that may be left behind while everybody else moving on. So I just want to talk to you about them relationships, and it'll be more coming. This is Ghazi. Peace.